Pleasure.
I have a fantastic creative team, so I have Sarah Greenwood, who's entire production design, who's done an amazing job.
It's such a fantastic story, and it's so kind of brilliantly English. You know, the combination of Guy Ritchie and Sherlock Holmes, you know, I just thought, well, fantastic, that'll be a completely different approach. You know, his thing is he doesn't come in pretending that he knows everything about period, and so he listens and he wants it to be authentic.
She was very determined to try and get scale to the movie. It's quite a big challenge because we had quite a short period to prepare the movie.
My first impression when I read the script was, you know, it's like, this cannot be real. You know, we had 11 weeks prep. It was a real challenge to achieve what we've achieved in the time that we had.
What we've done is we've gone back to what are undoubtedly fantastic stories in a fascinating period, Victorian London, which was seedy and menacing and dark and full of theatre and drama. And we've looked at the qualities of these stories that perhaps haven't yet been investigated.
Okay, we'll go one more time, everybody.
Excellent, thank you. Oh, I see two men, brothers. Oh, not in blood, but in bond.
Period should not be all, but period is what gives it its context and its rationale. And so as far as the interior of Baker Street, even though it would have started life as a relatively conventional kind of lower middle class house, it was decorated maybe 20 years, 30 years ago. It's gone slightly tatty, you know, and then Holmes has come in and basically he's screwed with it. He's completely messed it up. It is not a conventional Victorian parlour at all. It's the antithesis of that. You know, this is what will drive Mrs. Hudson completely mad. So here we have a beautiful William IV sideboard, which would probably, you know, be worth tens of thousands of pounds in our day, not in her day. It would have been an out-of-fashion piece of furniture, but certainly it would not, Mrs. Hudson would not be happy that Holmes is using it for his experimentation.
All this was actually heavily researched but pulled together in quite a hurry because we were running out of time. We were doing all the other sets as well. But we sort of gathered all the smalls as we went along from like flea markets, antique shops and hire companies. So it's a real sort of mass mix, really.
A lot of the film was shot outside of London to try and get sort of Victorian cameos, which we could then patch together to create our Victorian London.
And it was great having the freedom to go to places like Manchester and Liverpool, but to shoot the old dockside in Liverpool was fantastic, you know, because it's there and it's on its last knocker, you know, it's literally penciled for conversion in the next, you know, 12 months or so, so it was really great to be able to use those, you know, incredible buildings and things.
Every other day, we're in a completely new location, and they've built us docks, they've built us factories, they've built us boats. You turn up and something's happened.
The work that we did at Chatham on the shipyard, you could not have done in a studio, not at that scale. It's just a sheer scale we were able to achieve outside.
But I think the main contrasts in the film are within the exteriors and the interiors. So the interiors, you know, have a jewel-like quality, and then, you know, the monochromaticness, which is to a certain extent what London was like. He will use whatever you give him, which is great, you know, it's fantastic. And also see things in a slightly different way.
We are in Somerset House, which used to be some old Tudor palace in the middle of London. In fact, up and down here, you've got all the old tombstones that line the walls. So we're more or less in the basement of Somerset House. And here, this is replicating Blackwood's cell. And it works perfectly for the prison sequence. And also, because there's this enormous pathway that goes all the way around. So we can use it for the chase sequence in the beginning for the second unit. So it kills a couple of birds with one stone.
You really feel London, and you feel the characters, and you feel the life at that time. And it was an elegant time, and a seedy time, and it was a weird time.
I love the contrast, I really do. I think, you know, from the grimness of this and the, you know, and Reardon's and everything to the grandness of, you know, the Grand Hotel or the Royal.
So it kept you on your toe, it really did. And otherwise, so you don't get bored, you keep fresh, and you accumulate knowledge at such a rapid pace because you have to.
It does tick all the boxes. It does say this is Sherlock Holmes in this right period, but it also says that this is something, you know, very funny, fast-paced, fast-moving, and powerful. There's something very powerful about it, and that's what I've not seen in a film of this period.